Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the very first session of Youth for Sustainability Dialogues. I'm very happy to welcome everyone here on behalf of the organizers. My name is Maria Sakarias. I'm representing MasterPeace Foundation, here together with my team from Connecting Dreams Foundation based in India and Kabatan Kaka in the Philippines. We're glad to welcome everyone here at the first session of a new platform, Y4SD, Youth for Sustainability Dialogues. I'm very grateful to see so many of us here. I think there's quite a few people who are just coming in still, as we are on a Friday evening in India and Friday afternoon in the Netherlands. We have some participants from the US who signed up as well. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Let me start by telling you a little bit about the initiative itself. Why are we here and what are we going to do in the months to come? We, the project team behind Y4SD, we see that many young people around the world have brilliant ideas, outstanding talent, carrying out social impact projects with local communities at the grassroots level. With their projects, they're making an important contribution towards reaching the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. Y4SD will offer these young people an opportunity, a platform to share their projects with a wide audience of experts, that is educators, journalists, entrepreneurs, development professionals, and each other. We are welcoming young people from colleges, universities, from high schools around the world. We are going to focus on bringing the youth to their driver's seat. We want to engage them in important discussions, in brainstorming, in exchanging ideas and showcasing their work at the local community level. With this platform, we're going to organize one online session every 2 weeks, every Friday, focusing on a particular set of sustainable development goals. Thank you again for Connecting Dreams Foundation for initiating this platform. We're very glad to be a part of this partnership as MasterPeace Foundation, and we look forward to engaging with more partners and networks as we embark on this journey together. We're connecting with organizations with shared values and objectives so that we can bring together youth from as much as a diverse background, a set of experiences as possible, based anywhere around the world. Okay, without further ado, it's time to go ahead and delve into the topic of today's session, which is SDG 2, Zero Hunger from the gender lens. I'd like to give you a brief overall context overview. We know that hunger is a major problem overall. According to the World Food Programme, there's now 135 million people around the world suffering from acute hunger due to man-made conflicts, climate change, and economic downturns. COVID-19 pandemic can double this number, putting an additional 130 million people at risk of suffering acute hunger by the end of 2020. India is one of the world's largest food producers. Ironically, the country is also home to the largest population of hungry people and 1/3 of the world's malnourished children. The Global Hunger Index ranks India 102nd among 117 countries. We're also welcoming a team of young people from Cameroon here today. Cameroon is a West African country with a lot of conflict and an unstable political environment. It is also facing diverse hunger and poverty issues. The northern and eastern regions in particular are disproportionately impacted due to floods, droughts, land degradation, poor agricultural practices, and harvest losses. These are all factors that contribute to food insecurity and hunger in Cameroon. We know that approximately 2.6 million people right now are facing food insecurity. And of course, COVID-19 has exacerbated the situation. These issues are huge, but we also see how many people around the world are coming together to solve the challenges, especially during COVID-19. And young people in particular have an important role to play in creating positive change at the local level. Both MasterPeace Foundation and Connecting Dreams Foundation and other partners in this project, we share the vision that even if the global challenges seem daunting and huge, change starts with ourselves. It is our responsibility and our opportunity, ours, that is you and me, to act and to make a difference. Before we go ahead with today's dialogue, I'd like to give a very short word to Art Bos, CEO of MasterPeace Foundation, calling in from the Netherlands today. Art, we cannot hear you, unfortunately.
You can hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
So thank you, Maria. It's an honor to be part of this global positive. And I know that we can outnumber the negative. There is an abundance of talent, and as you say, of food, and still there is a gap with the hunger, with the people in need. So I think we should and we can co-create. And I'm proud on the UN that they nominated the World Food Program or the Nobel Peace Prize for the World Food Program. Because when you're hungry, what are you going to do? So building perspective starts at the bottom line to have proper food and healthcare. So the key topic that you chose with Connecting Dreams Foundation, our friends, is key as a start. So I wish that we all share our dreams and act on it. As you say, it's in the acting and in the dreaming, and we can do more than we thought we would do. So I encourage everyone to share and to go back after this session in your community and act for all the Sustainable Development Goals, and start with this one. Enjoy, grow in the network, grow in your self-esteem, and go for it. Enjoy.
Thank you, Art, for these encouraging and inspiring words. Yes, let's go into the topic in more detail. The title of today's session is SDG 2, Sustainable Food Production and Food Security from the Gender Lens. Why are we discussing it? Today, after all, is World Food Day. And as Art just mentioned, the UN's World Food Program received the Nobel Peace Prize for its efforts to combat a surge in global hunger during COVID-19. How can we ensure that local communities have access to nutritious and healthy food, producing it in a sustainable manner? How does this contribute to building peace? And finally, how might we empower women in the process? I'd like to welcome our two youth teams discussing the topic today. We have Team 1 from Connecting Dreams Foundation, Delhi chapter from Kalindi College, presenting their project Unnati. After that, we'll hear from Team 2, that is MasterPeace Cameroon, Hope for Better Future, with their project Sustainable Food Project for Children in Northwest Cameroon. And we are also very glad today to welcome here our expert, Mr. Ravikumar Kshirsagar.
Okay. Hi.
Apologies. Kshirsagar, who is the Assistant Vice President at the Business and Trade section at FBO, who's got nearly 10 years of experience in research and industry for project implementation, monitoring in agriculture, sustainable food production, and diverse business development activities. Very, very, very glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Good evening to everyone.
Thank you. Without further ado, let's start with the presentations. Team 1, are you ready to tell us about your work in India? Go ahead.
Yes, we are.
The floor is yours.
It feels as if it was just yesterday that we got this heart-shattering news. 3 minor girls starved to death at Mandipur, Delhi. The three sisters, aged 2, 4, and 8, succumbed to hunger. As we started to look into the matter, we found that this was nothing new. Lal Bahadur Shastri Hospital, where they were declared dead, used to witness cases like this quite often. This was a humongous misery to digest. Gut-wrenching stories around us put the global statistics that we came across every day in newspapers to perspective. According to FAO estimates in the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2020 report, 189.2 million people are undernourished in India. By this, 14% of the population is undernourished in India. These numbers now weighed on us heavier than before. And to overcome this overwhelming intensity of helplessness, we slowly diversified our reports to various districts in New Delhi. Moved by this incident, our team, which comprises of over 40 volunteers and 8 core team members, conducted surveys in slum areas near our college in order to find out if any such conditions prevailed in these areas too, and make interventions so that such tragedy could be averted from occurring again. The team discovered that the people living in these slum areas had access to food to fill their stomachs, but what caught our attention was highly unsanitary living conditions and the risk of starvation due to lack of nutritious food. So, after understanding the gravity of the condition and also realizing that the second and fifth goal of United Nations are also zero hunger and gender equality, our team decided to take a step forward. To provide a more sustainable solution to these problems, Project Unnati entered its first phase. Connecting Change is basically a program that aims to create sustainable change for undeserved community through a model of entrepreneurship and youth leaders. During our surveys, we discovered that the root of the hunger problem and malnutrition lies in the maternal health. The impact of poor nutrition on the maternal health and the survival is indisputable. Malnutrition is one of the main factors increasing the risk of such life threatening infections through its role in decreasing immunity and also delaying recovery.
After assessing the situation, we decided to intervene. CDF Kalindi launched its flagship project Unnati in October 2018 to put up a strong fight against hunger. The project started with the motto Annadan Jeevan Dan, which highlighted the importance of basic amenities like food. With Project Unnati, our team aims to provide meals that are nutritious, hygienic, delicious, as well as affordable at a subsidized rate of $0.14 only to the underprivileged sections of the society. In essence, our mission is to meet the nutritional needs of socially or economically weaker sections by pioneering sustainable grassroots, women-centered strategies and advocate their widespread adoption through a systemic model of entrepreneurship. We promise nutritious meals by following a meal plan formulated by a well-known nutritionist and ensure proper hygiene through regular training workshops for the individuals working in the project. The team has faced multiple challenges while trying to provide an effective and sustainable solution. Finding a clean and hygienic and easily accessible location for preparing foods was one of the biggest challenges. Targeting the location of the place where food has to be served so as to be fed to maximum number of pregnant and lactating women is another difficulty we need to overcome. Generating employment for women to empower them seems to be a challenge as well. The team also faced a lot of problems due to lack of funds, but we've come a long way from where we began. In October 2018, we organized our first food donation camp, Donate Not Dump. There, we distributed the leftover food from our college canteen to the needy to minimize food wastage. We soon realized that this was not a very sustainable option as we were dependent on availability of the leftover food from college, which was not quite healthy. So we came up with Annabox, a full meal box with freshly prepared food in December 2018. Our aim was to provide one full-time nutritious meal at $0.14. The food was prepared by our volunteers in college canteen, but even here we were solely dependent on food donations and lack of funds was a major concern. The following year in March, we conducted pilot surveys to better understand our user segment and expanded to 7 locations. After months of planning, we set up Unnati in November 2019. This time, we employed 9 women workers to help us with stalls, thus creating employment opportunities for them. Through our project, women were able to earn rupees 5,500 or $75 per month. The team was able to feed at least 100 people in a day.
In the year 2020-21, we decided to broaden our horizon with cost-effective, sustainable solutions. We consulted a well-known nutritionist to come up with a more specific meal plan, keeping in mind to boost the immune by inculcating iron and folic acid-rich foods. In January 2020, we launched the 5-day meal plan at Unnati stalls and were able to impact 511 lives. We launched a crowdfunding campaign on 8th March through which we were able to raise rupees 1 lakh or $1,364 in the course of just 20 days on Keto. Our drives were put on a hold as the nationwide lockdown was imposed owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. We had to come up with a plan to stay active and reformulate our working strategies.
In India, which is committed to create a supportive environment for the street vendors. NASWI, already being a reputed organization, will help us guide the women who work with Unnati undergo proper sanitization and hygiene training. This will help us to gradually eradicate the reluctance of customers in buying street food. The members of CDF Kalindi working on this project will also promote social distancing and the importance of a nutritious diet. This project will be taken into force by the end of October. Over the course of 2 years, we have impacted more than 1,200 lives through our food drives in various locations in New Delhi. We have also employed 9 women to help us in our project. After operating a student-run organization for about a year, Project Unnati was featured in an online newspaper called Mail Today. Our future plans include establishing a distribution channel through our collaborations with NGOs to ensure contactless delivery. Give regular food safety and hygiene training sessions to individuals involved in the project through our collaborations. We also aim to expand our menu to include various foods that boost immunity. We plan on digitally marketing our projects as well as design a website for collaborations to expand further. Additionally, we would like to upscale the project by pioneering sustainable grassroots women-centric strategies and advocate their widespread adoption through a catering model of entrepreneurship. So to sum it all up, in the unlock period, the members involved in Unnati project will again begin setting up the stalls at various locations with hired working individuals who will be trained according to the NGO NASWI. This is why our collaborations are of utmost importance, as they'll help us provide technical assistance and protective gear to deal with the post-lockdown situation. We believe that as a society, we have an obligation to invest now to improve the lives of all the forgotten souls who've got no one to turn to. We aim to achieve our goals by making the best use of our resources and strive to ensure sustainable solutions. And in process, inspire people around us to give back to people who need it the most. Thank you.
Congratulations, very good initiative by you peoples.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to hear about your work. You're definitely inspiring people around you. That's for sure.
Yes, yes.
We'll take questions from the audience and I'll address them later, hereby encouraging everybody here to type your questions in the chat box. Also, those who are viewing us on Facebook Live right now, please don't hesitate to share your reflections, your questions, anything that's on your mind. We're here to promote dialogue, so go ahead and share your voice. As we've also shared in the chat, we'll be conducting a quiz for our participants here on the topic of SDG 2, as well as the 2 projects. So listen closely, pay attention. We'll share a link towards the end of the session, and those who get the answers right might be given a certificate at the end of this dialogue session. Okay, Team Cameroon, let's move on to you. Zibi, are you there? Checking in with Team Cameroon.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. And congratulations. Nati. Hello.
All right. Yeah.
Hi, welcoming Zibi and Ngo from Cameroon. Zibi will be the one presenting their project at the Northwest region. The floor is now yours, Zibi.
Okay. Here, I have to share my screen. Oops.
Yes, perfect. We can see your screen. It would be just good to have it on full screen mode at the presentation mode.
So, let me go to F5. Well, you're welcome to Team Cameroon and our project for sustainable production of food and food security in Cameroon. Now, I'd like us to start by knowing what H4BF is all about. H4BF is Hope for a Better Future Foundation, and it's an NGO aimed at enhancing sustainable development within communities and improvement of women and children's conditions. We work for peace and we fight against gender-based violence and a better economic situation for Cameroonians, mostly in the rural areas, because that's where our audience, our target population are. And H4BF has in the past been funded by Pollination Grants and UNDP. So these are the funders who have helped us in the past. And now the issues that we are about to address, or Team Cameroon is going to be addressing, let us look at them. We are going to look at the ongoing Anglophone crisis that has led to the displacement and social distress of so many people, and this too including over 500,000 women and children. The Anglophone crisis has persisted for over 4 years now, and it has caused a lot of pain, and it has displaced a lot of people, and these people are now concentrated in the city or in the town of Bamenda. They have left so many villages and they are now concentrated in the town of Bamenda. Most of these people, as I have said, they consist of vulnerable girls and women, and we all know the situation because these people have left the villages and they have come to town. The production in food has reduced, and now the supply too in the town is less, and the prices have risen such that some families, these poor women and girls, cannot afford these prices, this food stuff. And so it has led to a lot of increased malnutrition. There is hunger and there is violence, you know, and a hungry person is an angry person, and so that's how it has turned out to be. So we are trying to see how we can bring hope to these women and girls who are stranded out there. Now, how is H4BF helping? Our project, as the Project Cameroon, is to enhance sustainable livelihood amongst vulnerable girls and women. And not only that, but to empower them too through vegetable gardening and poultry farming. This is to, in a long run, to help them have something to do, to have some income for themselves, and also to have some nutritious food for themselves and their families, so that we can fight the issue of malnutrition and hunger, which is leading to a lot of violence here. Now we start by identifying these vulnerable women and girls. We work with the community stakeholders, we identify them because there are a lot of people too who are pretending, and we want to actually get to those who are vulnerable. So we work with these stakeholders and we select these women and girls. Now, so far we are trying, or our aim is to build the capacity of over 1,000 vulnerable women and youths in vegetable gardening and poultry. In vegetable gardening, we're going to be doing leafy vegetables and other nutritious foods like soya beans and beans. These are highly nutritious foods. And poultry, you're going to have chicken and eggs, and these women can feed well, they can have good protein supply for themselves and their families, and they can sell the outcome to raise income for themselves, to send their children to school, and also to secure shelter and all the like. So we are planning to support 1,000 trained women, that we are going to organize trainings, and we are going to support these women with startup materials like wheelbarrow, hose, washing cans, and other capital, such that they can engage into this farming and actually support themselves and send their children to school. And also we are trying to promote social cohesion among IDPs, internally displaced persons, and their host communities in the Northwest region and West region. Now it happens that when these people live wherever they are left from and they now congregate here in the town, it's like they are being marginalized, they are being neglected by the host community. So we are trying to promote that social cohesion among them, such that they can feel that they belong, that they have a say to in the society, and that all hope is not lost. So we are trying to promote social cohesion among the ITPs and their host communities. And H4BF too has been providing cash transfers to families in distant and inaccessible villages. It happens that some of the villages are inaccessible, the roads are really bad, and we can't reach them frequently. So what we do is that we do an estimate of how much a family can need for a month or weeks, and we try to support them with some cash such that they can purchase their basic needs and they can live well and eliminate hunger. What are the target group and the duration we intend to run this project? The project is intended to run for 4 years, that's through 2019 to 2020. We started already, that's in the Tidango village of the West region of Cameroon. Yeah, we have been working there, and so far we have worked with 72 women and youths and girls who were chosen following the criteria, their vulnerability. And so far, we have trained them in vegetable gardening and poultry farming. We are going to see the pictures of that. And our target group, homes headed by children, that's child-headed households. We have homes headed by women, guardians, and some community volunteers. Like for these community volunteers, we try to select women, HIV positive women, we recruit them to work with the team such that we can pay them, and at the same time they are working for 3 days per week. They can have time to help the team to empower themselves, to also feel that they can belong, they can make decisions in the society, and why they also have time to take care of their homes and their children. So the project in the West region is almost completed, and currently the project is ongoing with over 100 trainees, and this time in the Donga Mantung division of the Northwest region. So presently the project is ongoing in the Northwest region. And now our strategies, we are trying to build capacity, and we do this by organizing training sessions, and we lecture and we give out handouts such that they can understand. And of course, we organize practical sessions such that we can demonstrate whatever we have learned as concerns poultry. Yes? Are we good? So we build capacity building through theory and practical sessions. And now, like I already mentioned, we have trained and supported 72 beneficiaries with startup materials. We have wheelbarrows, hoes, watering cans, seeds, and all that they need to set up their farm. Pardon? We do monitoring and coaching of beneficiaries. We actually do follow up to ensure that these people actually put into practice what they have been taught, and they are using the resources at their disposal for this, for production, for increasing food production in the country, and of course, first of all, in their communities. And like I said, currently we are training 100 in the Northwest region, and we have provided cash to some families, and we'll still intend to do that. And lastly, we are providing access to specialized mental health and psychosocial case management, reintegration of survivors of abductions, gender-based violence, and sexual exploitation abuse. During the crisis, everything has changed, and there is a really increase in gender-based violence. People are traumatized, and some are really so stranded, and they feel like committing suicide. So we try to provide these services where they can be counseled and made to feel that all hope is not yet lost and they can still forge ahead. Well, we've been doing this, and we've also been facing some challenges I would like to share with us. As the crisis persists, coupled with the novel COVID-19 that is really disturbing all of us, we see that more and more women are in need of resources. They are in need of services, but H4BF can't really provide those resources. So we continue to solicit support and funds, as the project has no official funding. Like, we are just working, we have no official funding. Meanwhile, we cannot let the women down. We can always try to encourage them in the little way we can. So we are soliciting for funds and support from funders. And the very second issues that we face is we continuous harassment and seeking of funds, illegal funds and payments from armed groups. So some workers, some volunteers are abducted, and they now seek money for them to be released and all that. So to deal with that, H4BF has been working in collaboration with UN OCHA for intervention in the payment of some of these illegal requests. And thirdly, we face a lot of electricity cuts. Yeah, there's persistent and prolonged electricity cuts. We try to manage this using power banks and generators and all that. And lastly, we face the issue of bad roads. The roads are really bad, since our focus is in the rural areas. To get to those villages at times is really challenging. And so we continue to seek support from our partners to provide us with a four-wheel drive car. So those are some of the challenges that H4BF is facing. We can see the pictures. Like I said, the women in the Zidango village, that's what they are doing there. You can see them trying to prepare their farms, and we can see they are taking care of the farm just immediately after germination, and they are trying to water the leafy vegetables there. Here is a beneficiary too, who has set up a poultry. You can see their layers. You can see the second picture, they are trying to collect some eggs. So in doing this, these women can always sell. They can have enough, they can be enough for their families to feed on, and they can also sell the excess or to the public, to other consumers, such that they can have income not only for food but for other needs that they have. And here we train the women on marketing strategies. They should not only produce and then have it to themselves. They should try to sell out to the public too and raise income. Like we said, it's raising income and empowering the woman. So we can see the pictures of how the startup material was dished out to some of these women, to some of these beneficiaries, to ensure that they actually put into practice what we have taught them, and the process continues. And I mentioned bad roads. You can see it's really terrible. The roads are inaccessible, especially during the rainy season now. It's really a tough one. So in cases like this, when we cannot access the people, we cannot access this target population, we just do cash transfers. We try to estimate and we send them some money to take care of themselves. So those are some of the challenges that we face. Meanwhile, we have other projects ongoing to improve livelihood and, of course, food security, livelihood first. And so we have the very first one, engaging women, youth, and physically challenged persons in micro-enterprise development to reduce gender inequality and promote non-violence in the communities of Bui and Donga Mantung. So that's the very first project. It is ongoing. The second one is improve access to water, sanitation, and hygiene in vulnerable communities in the northwest and west regions of Cameroon. We also have another one, improving access to quality sexual reproductive health for displaced and vulnerable women and girls in the Bui and Donga Mantung division, reducing the impact of COVID-19. So far, that's what H4BF is doing. And we just hope that we go a long way to impact the lives of so many. And so far, we have impacted the lives of over 700 persons from the 72 that we trained in the Zindango village, because they now act as trainers to other youths and women in their various subgroups and so on. And that's how the process is going. So we are really concerned and we look forward to sustainable food production and reduction of hunger in Cameroon, starting in the Northwest region, and of course, trying to help those vulnerable displaced women and girls.
Thank you, Zibi, for this wonderful presentation, for all the information that you shared with us today. I'm very grateful and proud that Hope for a Better Future is collaborating with MasterPeace, the legal umbrella for the local club on the ground. We're working together in partnership and hand in hand. Now, let me give a word to our expert, Mr. Ravikumar Kshirsagar. Could you perhaps share a few reflections and feedback to the young teams presented today?
Yeah, thank you so much, Maria. I'm really happy and surprised and feeling very energetic after seeing these initiatives and their presentations. First of all, thank you so much to the Connecting Dream Foundation for inviting me for this program, and special congratulations for organizing this program on the World Food Day. Right, we cannot talk about the zero hunger without food security. Right, if we talk about the India also, our water resources will be reduced more than 40% by 2030. We have to feed more than 1.4 billion population. Right, our losses are more than 30-40%. Maria, you also explained about the COVID situation, right? So all other sector was completely under the lockdown. We are fighting a battle with the COVID situation. All other defeated. Only the agriculture sector who is working. Only the food sector is working. So all the SDGs they are interlinked. But I think there is a strong potential for the agriculture and food sector who can solve this problem on the ground. So coming back to the topic, youth for sustainability dialogue, it's a very good actually. Means there is a beautiful quote by the Mahatma Gandhi that this planet having enough for everyone needs, but not for the everyone greeds. Right. So there is enough actually given by the nature to us. Coming back to their presentations, Unnati team mentioned about I like their quote that donate, do not dump. Right. When you are solving any problem, it's a basically big canvas you are working. Right. There is a problem. You are trying to connect these different dots. I'm happy to see that you have engaged with the NGO also. You are using the technology also. You are connecting with the financer also. So you are trying to connect these different dots, right? And in terms of the Zibi, I will say I'm happy to see you are going for the soya bean, and soya bean is having the highest protein content, right? So there is a good amount of soya milk and soya paneer. Even there is a lot of certification is also there in terms of the Protera certification, sustainability certification. So there is a good scope actually in that. You mentioned about the problem of the finance. Frankly speaking, if you're having the willing power, I don't think so the finance will be the problem. 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, you will see so many people coming back to you, right? So regarding the youth, This Dream Foundation is trying to connecting the like motivating the youth. So there are different stages actually, like a child, youth, middle age, and the old age. This is the stage where having a highest amount of energy, you have a lot of confidence, you have to do something. But channelize this energy, that is also more important, right? There are a lot of distraction is there. So I'm happy to see you are doing for the better cause. You are working on the better cause in that front, right? These are the baby steps. You have to go much ahead, but unless and until you are taking a baby step, you cannot run, right? So this might be a baby step, but in the long run, you can go much ahead. Try to engage the different stakeholder, right? You are facing some of the problem in terms of the finance, or in terms of the technology, or in terms of the nutrition, or in terms of the donor, right? Or maybe the team size. But once you will start working, the like-minded people, there are so many people who are willing to contribute, right? They will join. Coming together is just a beginning, but working together is the success, right? So once you will start this baby steps, definitely so many people will join with your initiative. We are talking about the on especially on the World Food Day. So I will say, like, we everyone know about the eating EAT. So I will give one strategy for the like connecting foundation. I will use this EAT in a different word: E for education, A for awareness, and T for training. If you focus on this, along with this initiatives also, even the other youths also, definitely the success will come to them. I'm really happy to see this, both this presentation and their initiative. Any help in terms of future also, I have already shared my email ID and contact number. Even though all the participants who are joining the program, they can reach out to me for anything. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this perspective. It's really valuable. By the way, everybody, there is now a link in the chat box that will take you to a survey about SDGs and the two projects. Please fill it in and you can get a certificate for completion. I have a couple of questions here in the background. Question to Project Unnati. What has this community work brought to you personally? What have you learned or realized in the process? How has it changed you, perhaps?
So I can answer that. Before I started working with Connecting Dreams Foundation, I was living in this sort of bubble where I did not really understand my privilege, and I did not really understand the kind of, I wasn't really grateful about a lot of things in my life. It's only when we started, working on the ground and started reaching out to these people who were suffering so much, was when I realized that, oh, there are better things to deal with. And, our, like Sir said, that our energy needs to be channelized in the right ways. So I put that negative energy in my life into something positive, and I think that really changed me, because now I'm very grateful for whatever I have, and I try my best to kind of reach out to the people that are suffering in any way and try and reduce that on any level that I can.
I have a suggestion for a Unnati team. You have to replicate this model in a multiple place actually.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely agree with that one. Thank you for sharing your perspective. We got a question from Manisha from CDF India to the team of Cameroon, and it's related to the same question. What was your motivation to take up this project?
Hello, can I answer that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hear you very well, Ngo. Go ahead.
Hello, Mario, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello?
I guess he cannot hear us. I'll give him a text in the background. Meanwhile, Zibi, perhaps you can share your perspective. What motivated your team to take up this project?
Yes. Yes, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Abdullah.
Okay, yes. So we all know the situation, there was in my village in Kambe, there was a certain lady that was our neighbor. I quite visited sometime, and I noticed that she had 8 children, and out of these 8, she have of different fathers. These children, almost 8 of the children have different fathers. She was relying on the care of the father. So it happened one day, and I don't know what happened, but 2 of our kids died just the same day because of hunger. And from that day, we it we had it kind of touched me somehow, and I decided with my team that we should try to see how we can do something about hunger. So it's a project that I've been in the pipeline ever since before the crisis. So the crisis is just coming to add more of like the problems that were already existing. So from that day, looking at her situation, yeah, we I came together and we talked with some board members, and we decided that we should do something about hunger. So from that day, that's when the concept came about, and that's how we were not only looking at hunger, we were also thinking like we could share food. And after thinking of sharing food, we thought of something that we could just empower them, that they could keep having food.
Connection trouble, it seems. Yes, Ngo has left the room. Connectivity issues. Very sorry. Okay, we heard his perspective at least. That's great. I think we're coming to the end of the sessions, but there's a lot of questions still that we haven't been able to ask. I'll take one more. Project Unnati, wondering how would you take care that the food was prepared in a hygienic way? Everything is clean.
The connection went off. Yeah, so we started by just sharing food to some members around. And then we noticed that they keep calling for food all the time. So we decided that we should think of something sustainable that we could just empower them to be doing so themselves. And that's how the gardening project came about. And the gardening project, when we train them to do home gardening, our micro enterprise project is also beside, which we are still lobbying for funds to ensure that we have enough funds that they could be taking loans to increase their businesses and others. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad that we could capture the
Hello?
last what you wanted to share with us today. It's wonderful. Yes, last question to Team Unnati. How did you take care that the food was prepared in a very hygienic manner? And yes, how could you ensure the cleanliness after the food was provided as well?
So I'll answer that. So I think I talked about the importance of collaborations while talking about my presentation. So I think in this case also, it was only through collaborations that we could ensure hygienic food. So we collaborated with this institute, Indian Hotel Management PUSA, students from there who were already working in such conditions and could actually help us out by giving these women training sessions. So we held proper sessions in order to make sure that they know how to keep the food clean and how to kind of function and operate in the most efficient way possible.
Okay, that's great. And just because we have a little bit more time, also curious about the surveys that you conducted. What did you learn from them? What were the most important takeaways from this journey?
I think, okay, I'll answer that. So the most important takeaways for me, okay, I can talk on a personal level and also on a more, broader level, what I understood from taking surveys. One was that before this, I saw all of these things only on news channels and only on television, that like all these problems were not really for me it was a distant thing. I couldn't really relate to the issues. And even when we started conducting the surveys, I felt like I couldn't really connect with these people because these were issues that I didn't face in day-to-day life. But as I started talking to them more and as we started going on these surveys regularly, we understood how different of a life we're living despite living so close by. And I mean, I think it really, that really moved me, and that really changed how I looked at things. And that's, I think, how the surveys were.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those answers as well. I invite everybody to follow Connecting Dreams Foundation on social media, on the website, the projects. You'll be able to find more information as we are going to publish about them. Same thing for MasterPeace Cameroon, Hope for a Better Future. Please do stay in touch. If you want to reach out to the teams and ask specific questions, or maybe have a follow-up call or a meeting to discuss whether you'll be able to collaborate, you're more than welcome to reach out to the organizing team over here. After all, we are a platform. We are here to forge collaboration, to create connections between individuals around the world. I would like to give the words to Mr. Amit Alea from Connecting Dreams Foundation for a reflection on this whole session today.
Thanks a lot, Maya, for taking the session till now. And thanks to all the guests who have attended, Trivedy and all the participants from Cameroon, India, and all the participants. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful session. I think the kind of projects that people have been doing till now, they have been doing, there has been a lot of learning. I think people are taking it from this angle. I think this particular platform that has been created, I think there will be a lot of learning cross-border as well, which is a global learning that we are thinking of. And that's the main purpose of creating this particular platform. And as we are moving forward, I think the work, because the communities are different, challenges will be different, but there is a lot of learning. I could see there is a lot of learning from the Cameroon team that Indian team can take. The way they are reaching out to community, the way they are creating those groups, even though there is a lot of challenge in even reaching out to these places. There is a lot of challenge in terms of electricity and other things, even though the same challenges are not in India, but the way, the approach that has been taken is really wonderful. And the kind of impact they have created till now, approximately 700 people, is tremendous. And I believe that the way they are going, I think the impact will increase day by day. And we would like to know and see that how can teams in India can collaborate with teams in Cameroon and other parts of the world, and they can also learn from them, and they can also contribute in terms of learning, in terms of helping, in terms of the way they can collaborate and work together, because this is what is happening now. The world is without borders. The COVID has taught us a lot of other things, that we'll have to work together, we'll have to survive together, and we'll have to be face these challenges together. It's not isolated in communities. It is not isolated in one place. It is a global challenge that we are facing in terms of SDGs. And SDG is not to a specific country. It is for the global level that has been created. I think everyone will have to work together now in a global community. I think this is the first step that we have taken along with MasterPeace and other partners out there. And as we are growing together, I think this community will grow. Will have a huge number of change makers who will come together from different organizations and work together to solve bigger problems now. I think let's work together. Let's pledge from today that let's increase the scope of the work that we are doing. Let's work towards the SDG goals in your community. Let's start from local, but aim for global is what we are trying to say. And this is where I want to end. And wonderful show, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot, everyone. The team which is working behind. Ketki, Simi, who has already conceptualized, done everything about it. Maria, everyone out there. I can't take everyone's name out there, but a lot of people from the core team, the student team, who have been working day in, day and night for making this happen. And thank you very much. And we'll be holding many more of such events in the future. And I think Maria will be telling more details about it. But keep doing the good work. You are doing wonderful work out right now. And we are there to support you in whatever you're doing. And we would like you to increase that impact. And whatever challenge you're facing, we are there to support you in whatever way we can. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Amit, for these words. Couldn't agree more. After all, we are entering the decade of action. We have 10 years to go until the end of the SDGs. Very quick word to Simi as well, as she is the initiator of the concept after all. I think she deserves a bit of spotlight here today. Simi.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming up with this initiative of bringing together all these partners and the whole team. We are going to continue with the dialogues as we've conceived of it. We're going to continue for a whole year at least. This is a marathon that we're running, discussing different SDGs as we go along. The next one that we'll focus on in 2 weeks will be SDG 5, along with SDG 8 and 10. We'll be talking about empowering the LGBTQI+ community through decent work. Mark in your agendas, we're going to gather again on the 30th of October and the Friday, and then on the 13th and 27th November, every 2 weeks from then onwards. As Amit was saying, we need to pledge from today, let's work together, let's co-create, let's connect, let's create change. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining the session. We are 7 billion strong together. I'm very grateful, very proud of this initiative. Stay connected.